Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week we are focusing on preparation for mini project for DUE5012 Communicative English 3, and it's me again, Puan Ida Muhammad Isa. So let's understand what a mini project. A mini project will address some findings to some research or experiment that you undergo. It reports factual information, so you need to have facts in your mini project, and it serves some kind of purpose, whether it is directed as an internal and external audience of any organization. So basically for DUE 5012 in Communicative English 3 in Polytechnic Malaysia, your mini project will be aimed at focusing in the situation or the problems that are occurring in Polytechnic Malaysia Melaka. So we are investigating or carrying out some research about gathering information from other students' opinion regarding, for example, the facilities, the service, or the opinions of the students regarding a subject matter and anything that's related in our campus. When preparing for a mini project, you need to be able to go through a well-planned process. So the process would include planning of your mini project, collecting the data, compiling the data, organizing it in graphs and charts, and writing the research paper. Or in this sense, you are preparing the slides for your presentation. And lastly, presenting the finding to a specific audience. So these are the processes that you will go through when you are preparing for the mini project task. So let's look into detail what are the process. Firstly, find and decide on a topic for the project. So sit in your groups and brainstorm for ideas on what are the topics that is suitable to present for your mini project. So the topics can include students' opinions on a certain facilities in the campus, for example, the Wi-Fi connection, the services from the canteen or the library. So any relating to the students' opinions in the campus can be used as the topic for the project. Or if you want to find out students' opinion, for example, on other matters like the subjects that they are learning in their own departments, so which areas or which subjects are quite tough for your friends to cope with, or you want to find out about students' stress level in Polytechnic Merlimau. So it is actually, the topic is quite wide, and you need to determine which is the suitable topic that you can create for your mini project. Okay, number 2, identify the steps taken to carry out a mini project. So this is very important, where you need to prepare an outline. So in the outline, you would know that the first part you need to prepare is the introduction. So the introduction would have some basic or general information regarding your topic, right? And it also gives the problem. You are identifying what is the problem, and you need to also include it in your introduction. Okay, and that would also lead to the purpose of your mini project. So do not just mention that this mini project is for the purpose of completing the task for DUE 5012 Communicative English 3. It is not the purpose. So the purpose of your mini project is to identify an opinion or a problem, and what are you going to suggest other recommendation to improve the problem, for example. Okay, so that is step number 2. And step number 3, you will have to create a questionnaire and distribute the questionnaire to your samples. right? So I forgot to mention that once you in step 2, once you have already prepared introduction, you have to know the objective of your research, and you also need to state the methodology. So in the methodology, you have already identified who are your samples. Okay, samples means the respondents that will answer your questionnaires, right? And then only you will be preparing the questionnaire and distributing it to the samples. Okay, number 4, organize content of the project according to the appropriate format. Okay, so you need to be able to organize it in the format of a mini project or a research. Okay, number 5, present information from the mini project in the form of graphs and charts. And number 6, use appropriate visual aids to enhance your presentation. And lastly, preparing a report for the mini project. So you need to okay, so the 3 important processes for the mini project are conducting a mini research, writing a mini research, and lastly, presenting the finding. So you have already think about a mini research. Then you are going to prepare the documents. And lastly, you are presenting the data that you achieve. So this will allow the audience to know what are the final output of your mini project. Choosing an appropriate topic. So a mini project is planned carefully and done in a very organized manner. And when you want to choose a topic, you have to consider a few things. Firstly, is there any issue or any problem that you are interested to study? Okay, so always think about something that is interesting and focusing on a certain problem or issue that's happening. Okay, and then also think about why are you conducting the mini project? Right? Are you conducting the mini project to collect information on students' opinion? Are you collecting the data regarding students' preferences of something? Or are you investigating on, for example, students' frequency of visiting a place in the campus? So there are many purposes that you need to think about in your mini project. So identify why, okay, the reason why you want to conduct the mini research. And apart from that, you would also need to consider the location of the mini project. So where are you collecting the data? Okay, so for this purpose of the course, you are looking into the Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka. That is the location of your mini project. Okay, and you are also considering who will be your respondents. Okay, which will be students from Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka. Okay, next, how will you collect the data? So you have to think about what are the form of research design that you want to implement in your study. Okay, and then what is the time frame to conduct the mini project? So you need to consider how long are you given to complete the task. Okay, so if it is a very short time, then you need to make sure that you are able to complete all the process of the mini project within the time frame given, which means that you might have to simplify. Let's say that you are preparing your questionnaires, so you might simplify your questionnaires, okay, in order for you to prepare the mini project within the time frame given. All right, so what are the issues or problem? Okay, you need to identify the issue of problem. So it's very important. It gives you a clearer picture of the topic that you have chosen for your mini research. And of course, you need to be you need to have more information. So additional reading on the topic will enhance your understanding and knowledge about the topic you've chosen. So you will need to look out, need to collect many researches from the, let's say for example, from Google search, or specifically if you go to Google Scholar, right? Find as many reading materials regarding the topic that you also want to identify or you want to create for your mini project. Okay, for example, if you say that, okay, so the problem now is online learning. Okay, so for example, online learning, how are students motivated to have online learning? Okay, so that's the issue now that I'm sure many institutions, many educators, many students are facing. Okay, how effective is online education? Okay, so that is one of the issues of problem. Okay, so what you do is when you want to find additional reading materials, you go to Google search, you go to Google Scholar and you type. Okay, you type in the title that you're interested in. Okay, for example, the students' motivation in online learning. Okay, students' motivation towards online learning. So then only you would get some ideas on how you want to construct your mini project. Okay, the best is you find at least 3 to 5 references, and if you find the recent references, at least 5 to 10 years. Okay, a research that has been conducted within the 5 years or to 10 years. Okay, don't take those that are like back in the past, for example 30 years ago. So those kind of research, yes, it's important, but we are looking into the recent research. Okay, and write down, okay, once you already have an idea of what the topic is, what the problem is, now you need to identify what is the problem statement. Okay, so in every mini project or research, you need to have the problem statement. So problem statement is a sentence or a paragraph that is talking about why is this happening? Okay? What is the problem or the issue that's happening? Right? And when you identify the problems, you need to also look at what other researchers are saying about the problem. So you can actually quote, okay, quote the research. From another source, you're quoting it in your statement of problem. Okay? For example, according to and the year 2017, okay, students in college in Taiwan have identified 3 problems in online lesson, which are, so there's a problem. Okay, so from the same problem, then only you are developing your research. So you are saying that the issue is important because other people are also researching about it. Okay, and we also want to collect the information here in our campus. Okay, so refer to other people's research. That would be the best way to focus on have some focus on your mini project. So these are the step-by-step on how you want to develop your topic. So identify what is the problem. For example, internet slow. Who? The sample. Okay. Students. Where? The location of the research. PMM. Why? Why do you think the study is important? Okay, so internet is important to carry out assignment in the campus. So develop your topic by using these answers. Okay, so you are developing a mini project topic, for example, a survey on students' perception on the internet services in Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka. It can just be simply students' perception on the usage of internet service in PMM. Okay, so the topic is usually sums up your mini project. It should gives you the audience or the reader the understanding of what your mini project is about. So a topic should be specific, accurate, and concise, okay, in manners. So include what is the problem, who is going to be in your research, where is it going to be, and why. So you can use infinitive structure. So substitute the word purpose. Okay. This is in regards to writing the introduction. So you can say the aim of this research, the objective of this research, the research hopes, the research intents. So you are highlighting in your introduction what is the purpose of the mini project. The next step, once you have already identified your topic, is to create a research outline, or in the universities they call it research proposals. So this outline is actually a plan of what you will be doing all throughout your mini project. Okay, so you are carrying out the mini project based on the research proposal. And this research outline you have to discuss with your lecturers, and this will give you a better understanding and a guideline of how you're going to create your research. So the plan would consist of the title, background of the problem, okay, which is a general information about the problem or the topic, the problem statement, research objective. Okay, you can also include research question, which is actually a statement from the objective but in the form of a question, and lastly a methodology. So this is not the final mini project, this is only a plan. Okay, you need to have a plan. In life, you need to have plans. If you don't have plans, then you'll be stuck somewhere. Okay, so it's important to plan your mini project. Alright, the introduction to the problem may include items that's related to the importance, the needs, values, usefulness, or rationale of the problem, and it may also include citations from the literature to support them. So what this means is you need to look at other people's research, get some information from their research, and include it by citing or citation, by including the citations from other researchers. Okay, so literature means your resources, okay, from other researchers. This sometimes will call the theoretical construct. So you would learn this more in deeper when you go to the universities for your degree or your master's, right? So theoretical construct would be the theories behind your research, the background. Next, introductions actually can vary in length, and it is different according to the problems and also your writing styles. So you should try to at least come up with 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, the first paragraph talking generally about what your research is about. The second paragraph is talking about what is the problem statement, and the last paragraph would highlight the importance of why you are conducting the mini project. So a nice introduction would include at least 3 paragraphs. So in detail, first paragraph, you can write the general information of the topic. Second paragraph, specific information about the topic. Third paragraph, statement of problem. So why the research is being conducted, as mentioned earlier, and have it in a concise statement. You can have a single sentence, or you can create a paragraph, including the citations from other researches that have been conducted. Next, right, so the next in your outline, understand the objective of your mini project. So write down the objectives are the statements of the specific actions needed to accomplish for the purpose of the mini project. So you need to have enough objectives, and the objectives are reflected from your topic. Okay, it's reflected from the problems and the topic. So everything in your mini project is related to each other. It's a continuation of whatever that you plan. Okay, for example, if your introduction is, if your title first is on the internet connection in Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka, then in your introduction, you need to identify internet, what is the problem, okay, that is students facing in using the internet, right? And the purpose of your research would be to identify their opinion about, for example, the internet connection in Polytechnic Merlimau, the problems that they face in connecting to the internet availability in Polytechnic Merlimau. Okay, so you get what I'm saying, right? Next, the objective would also be actually structuring the same in your problem statement. Okay, for example, you would say the objectives of the mini project are to identify students' opinion on the Wi-Fi services in PMM. Okay, and your second objective could be to compare. So you are, remember, for your mini project, you have to make a comparison between either you choose to make comparison between the semesters or the gender, okay, female or male, right? So you can have that as an objective to compare the opinions between students from DHF 4A and DHF 4B towards the Wi-Fi services in the campus. Okay, to investigate student suggestion in of the Wi-Fi services offered in Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka. So everything is connected. Okay, the topic, the introduction, the objective. Right. Okay, so once you figure out what's the introduction, what's the problem statement, what's the objective of your research, next, what's important is for you to write down your methodology or the procedures. Okay, because if you don't have methodology, then you don't have a guide on where to start with your research, with collecting the data. So methodology helps you in the next process of collecting the data. So it would see how you carry out the study. Okay, it should be described thoughtfully, thoroughly. So you think about who will be involved, especially the samples or the population and the sampling techniques. So population would mean Polytechnic Merlimau Melaka. Okay, samples are the smaller numbers in the population. For example, you are choosing 2 separate classes or 2 separate semesters. Okay, and when and where you plan to carry out the study. Okay, it should be described. Next, what are the design or the resources needed? Okay, what are the resources? Maybe what are you using? Survey method. Okay, and then you plan how you plan to gather the data. Okay, think about all this question when you're writing down the methodology. So this would include the instruments and the forms of data analysis that you'll be using, right? So you need to identify what are the methodology that you will follow. This is a sample of how to write down the methodology. This chapter aims to demonstrate the method used in carrying out the mini project and the analysis of data. This chapter highlights the participants, research design and procedure, and data analysis. 2.1 Participants. 40 Semester 1 students from Hospitality and Tourism Department of Polytechnic Limau Melaka was chosen as the sample of the research. 20 students consist of DEV1A and 20 students from DHF1A. Next, what is the research design and data analysis? So this study will collect qualitative data by using survey method. The questionnaires are adapted from, find a resource from another research, or you can develop on your own. Okay, the findings are presented in graphs and chart based on percentages, okay, and collected from the questionnaires. Okay, so this would be your plan. Okay, you need to think about who are the participants, okay, where you're going to do it, in Polytechnic Limau Melaka. Then what's the research design, you're using a survey method, and you need to have questionnaires, and you need to distribute the questionnaires, collect the questionnaires, and how you're going to analyze it, okay, by using graphs and charts, right? So then only you would have an idea of what you're doing all throughout your mini project. Right, so this is the full format for the mini project. You have introduction where you state problem statement, the research objective. You have the methodology where you need to highlight participants, the research design, research instrument, and data analysis. You have the data analysis, which would highlight your questionnaires, your graph or charts based on the questionnaires, and what are your analysis from the graphs and charts. And number 4, conclusion and recommendation. The conclusion would summarize your whole mini project, and the recommendation would be giving out the suggestion of the problem that you have stated. Okay, so for now, you should be able to focus on completing the introduction and the methodology. We are in the phase of planning for your mini project. Right, so look into what I have discussed and try to find the suitable topic and prepare the introduction and the methodology. So that's all for this week's lesson. Thank you for watching until the end of the lesson. If you like the video, then give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because you would get the latest videos that I update weekly. Thank you again. I'm Ida from Polytechnic Limau Melaka.